Jesus. Oh, great. I probably lost half of you already, didn't I? You know, you just want to clear a room. You got somebody who's bugging you. Just start talking about Jesus. They'll leave real quick. Isn't it funny? Isn't that funny how people feel about the name Jesus Christ? You know what's really bad about that? I remember feeling like that when I was young. What was that? What was that? You know, why do people feel just so uncomfortable about that name? You know, maybe it's judgmental people behind it, or just how people maybe are treated when that's brought up. Well, let me tell you something about my belief in Jesus Christ, right? I believe in God. I believe He's real. And I believe that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, gave Himself for my sins, and I get to go to heaven for that, and I don't have to do anything else but believe to get there. Now, that being said, I want you to understand something about being a rough man. I know some people don't like that I use that term because they think I'm some kind of sissy or something. Who knows? I suppose to some folks maybe I am, but yeah, I'm really not. But I want everybody to understand something. I've been known to have a few drinks, and I've been known to share some language that would make a drunken sailor blush. And I'm not going to change that. You see, there was a time in my life, maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I remember feeling like I should change all that. So I prayed about it, and for about 6 months I was going to work. I was a policeman at the time, and then people were like, "Who are you? Who is this guy? Where's the real Jody? Where is he?" You see, that wasn't God's plan for me. I thought it was, so I tried to make it happen, and it didn't. I don't think you got to be a perfect person to be a Christian. As a matter of fact, I'm nowhere near that. And I love the Lord. And I think it's important that everybody understands that. This idea that a rough man can't have a relationship with God, well, that's a bunch of nonsense. You know, Jesus was a carpenter. Carpenters are usually pretty fairly tough fellas. And all those guys that were running around with him, I don't think they were sissies either. I mean, most of them died for their belief. I know a lot of people, if it came down to it, if you had to wear a crown of thorns or else you're going to be tortured to death, they'd just say, "Hey, I changed my mind." You know, that's my idea of a tough guy. A guy that says, "Hey, listen, I don't really care what you say. I know the truth, and I got to stand by it." That's Jesus Christ to me. And this idea that rough men don't belong in the church is really awful. You know, my dad, I used to call my dad the last of the tough guys. You know, in my opinion, that guy was bulletproof. But my dad would have thought he'd started on fire if he stepped into the church. And that's a real problem. You know why? Because as children grow up and mom takes them to church, when they finally get tired of going, if a rough father doesn't feel in place there, he just say, "You know what, they don't got to go if they don't want to." But imagine if all the rough fathers felt like they belonged. Guess who's going to church? Everybody. So it's important. Rough fellas, you belong. God created you in His image. Don't let anybody else convince you anything the opposite. Have a good day. And keep safe.